Okay, we've got some interesting energy. We've got the Justice card in the upright, the Magician card in the upright, but then we've got the Seven of Wands reversed, so that is a bit odd to me. These are incredibly positive. So the Justice card is upright because something that was unfair has now been resolved, okay, in your favor. The Magician card upright is having all of the tools to to bring your manifestations, your wishes, your goals, your desires into reality, your dreams, your fantasies into reality, to make it so, to have the resources, the wherewithal, the motivation, the determination, the patience, like the strategy to do the research. You feel like you've got everything that you require to make something so, and you feel that something that was unfair has now been made justified, correct. What I don't understand, though, is having this one, so let's talk it through. The Seven of Wands, when it's upright, is a card of competition. It's trying to be the person who has the advantage, having the high ground, having a bit of an advantage over your opposition. When it's reversed, it's like we feel that we don't have the advantage. We feel at a disadvantage. We feel like we haven't got the high ground. So I'm just confused as to why there's a bit of a negative card with two incredibly positive ones. And they're both major arcana as well. So they're more important and they're positive. But then we've got this one. It's like, maybe that's not too significant then, and it's more about where we didn't have the advantage, we now have it. Okay, something's being made fair and just and right. Something is now possible. Maybe I don't need to look into this one too much, Let's get two more and then see if we're on the right track. Hi, Ensa. Hi, Jindriska. I don't think in years of reading tarot I've ever had that combination. That's really interesting to me. It's fascinating to me. The Tower. Wow. Now the Tower is significant change in a person's life. So say if you live alone, then significant change could be that you're moving back in with family, or that you ask a partner to move in with you, or someone asks you to move in with them. Or something upsetting, like maybe you can't afford to pay your house, pay the mortgage payments, and the house is repossessed. So it's like some sort of tower moment. It's not always terrible. It just means major change. Towers are inevitable. We can't stop them. Okay, and you are allowing this tower to fall because it's upright. Although it's devastating and the change is uncomfortable, it's not comfortable, this amount of change. It's devastating, okay? It's shocking. Even if it's something that you perceive to be positive, like you find out that you're pregnant, your life's never going to be the same again, and it's pretty daunting. And you aren't the same person after. So it's something that's daunting. It's something that changes everything forever. But you're allowing the tower to fall. If you were trying to resist it, it would be this way. The silver lining to a Tower moment is that what replaces it is going to be superior. It's going to be better than how things were before. So towers are supposed to happen and do happen. Sometimes we cause a tower, sometimes towers are brought to us. You know, it's shocking change, it's major change, but what replaces it will be superior. Okay, so that's the purpose of a tower. Now, this is really interesting to me. So we've got 3 major arcana. Something's being made fair and just. Could be legal issues, doesn't have to be. It's the major for Libra. The Magician, we've now got all the tools to succeed. We've gained the advantage and we're letting a tower fall. So hopefully that resonates to you guys, okay? Hi Caroline, hi Claire, hi Richard. The Ace of Swords is the challenge. So this is clarity, truth, revelation, a confession. Any of those things. You see the mountains in the background. These are obstacles. It's air energy and it's about communication or thoughts. We've gained some sort of clarity, or we're going to reveal some sort of major truth, major confession. Now that Ace of Swords was in the challenge, so that's a bit odd. It looks like you've had some sort of epiphany where, sorry if I'm being really loud, I feel like I'm shouting, but I feel very enthusiastic at the moment. It feels like you've realised that something is, although it's not comfortable, it's incredibly uncomfortable, it's very hard to cope with. It's actually for your benefit, it's for your good in the end. And I just wonder if you're coming to terms with that. You're starting to allow the tower and come to terms with that, like you're having some sort of revelation about this. Like I said, anything that requires major change is very difficult, and you are a fixed sign, Aquarius. Like, so as a Taurus, I get it. I even cause towers in my life, and then I just find it so intolerable dealing with the change. It's really, really like hard, but it's like afterwards you realize like the benefit of what you've done, and you're impressed with yourself for getting through it. But just until you get to a point where you're starting to feel good again, it's not good, is it? It's awful. So yeah, if this is resonating, I'm sorry for you, because this is grueling, whatever this is. Aries was done, I think on Monday. It's, if you go out of this live, if you want to, you can go out of this live and go to the lives playlist, and it'll say in the title of one of the last few videos. I've done them in zodiac order, so it'll be a couple of videos down, because I think I did I think I did Aries and Taurus one night, and then just Gemini one night, because I'd had such a bad day. Yeah, it's either like Monday or Tuesday. The Five of Swords upright. So these are the cards for your person now, Aquarius. This could be someone that you've got on your mind, someone that you're actually dealing with right now, or someone that you're manifesting in the future. Now, you're obviously going through a major change in your life, like nothing's going to be the same again, nothing. And that ain't easy. That is really, really tough. So I don't know who's going to show up for you. At the moment, it's someone where there's lots of arguments, there's lots of division. People are not getting along, crosswords are being spoken, okay? Look, all the skulls being racked up here. That's the death toll, yeah, like in these arguments. It's brutal, you know? Oh, my name's Jenny. Or Jen. 10 of Cups upright. So this person... Okay, this card is a card of family harmony, the 10 of Cups. So 10 is always family. It's whoever lives inside the household. So whether that's the two of you or whether you have children or, you know, elderly parents, whoever it is that lives under that roof, it's about all of the people that live in the household. Their cups are all full. This is family unity, family harmony. That's here. And it's upright. And it's at the same point in the timeline, because these are timelines. This happened, then that happened, and then this happened. How weird is it that you've got the Tower and this person had the 10 of Cups? I can't wait to see what comes out next, just because it's fascinating, honestly, trying to figure this out. But I would say that's the person, like, that you were married to if you are separating from someone, and that's what the Tower is. If you've moved out and that's what the Tower is. I could be wrong. But this is definitely a family scenario. Marriage scenario. The 10 of Swords reversed. See, the 10 of Swords upright. I mean, it doesn't matter too much, Richard, but it's Jenny with an IE. I don't know why, like, it bothers me, but... just in case other people copy it and it's wrong. The 10 of Swords, when it's upright, is the most pain, the most upset a person can bear, okay? There is swords all the way up this skeleton, you know, ankles, pelvis, chest, all the major organs, like through the eye, like through the brain, the throat, you know, there's swords besides as well. It's just agony, you know, desperate, inconsolable. Now, it's the end of a cycle when we get to 10. When it's reversed, we haven't seen all of that pain and agony through to the end. We almost did. And then we made a decision to drop the burdens and get out of this awful cycle. Okay. So I think there was divisions at times within a household, and at times it was harmonious, and there could have been a more positive period. But then we've kind of like had to throw in the towel because you could have created a Tower moment, okay, in what seemed like a blissful family scenario. That's their perspective. It's not necessarily your perspective. That's how they perceived things to be. This is their feelings, okay? At times there was division, at times it was peaceful, and then you've brought in the Tower. That's what I believe has happened here. And this person just had to let the Tower fall because what else are they going to do? Do you know what I mean? You can't push the Tower back up once it's coming down. You know, possibly you were reflecting on the hard times and you know, used that timing, like, to sort of pick your moment to kind of go, look, this is what needs to happen. Let's get 3 for the outcome. Because the outcome is what we're going to see next week or could have already happened. Okay, it's more recent, even more recent than this. This could be the last few months, you know. We've got Page of Cups reversed. The Page of Cups, when it's upright, is someone who's offering emotion. Now, emotions could be happy emotions, you know, emotions of regret. This could be an offer of love, or it could be a sorry, you know, like, I'm so sorry I did that, or, you know, I really care about you. Like, any expression of emotion, that's not being shared. Okay, so we're not wanting to share emotions in this week. This is the energy for this week. The Four of Cups, if it was upright, would be rejecting emotions from others. So we're closed off, you know, in both directions. We don't want anyone to chase us, and we don't want to talk to anyone. If it was reversed, we're becoming open. The heart chakra's opening. We're open to forgiveness. We're open to people pursuing us, you know, and telling us that they really quite like us. That's like in the challenge position for the week ahead. So I think the heart chakra's closed off. It's muddied because you're going through all this change and it's so major, it's so transformative, that it's just not possible to kind of be vulnerable and be open to love right now. Let's get another one for the outcome. These are a combo. King of Wands reversed with the King of Swords reversed. Oof. Ooh. Right. So we've got two kings here. So this is either you or them that's feeling, if they were upright, you'd be feeling truthful, noble, intelligent, you know, working with good strategy, articulating yourself well. You'd feel confident, bold, assertive, capable. Now these, when they're reversed, is negative. Okay, so this could be, I feel bad-tempered, I feel insecure, I feel weak, I feel like I don't want to speak to anyone right now. I can't think straight, you know, to build some sort of strategy or play this like a chess game. I don't know the rules, like, of this chess game. Like, you know, it's someone that's lacking strategy, someone that's possibly not communicative, like uncommunicative, you know, blocking people, evasive, you know, feeling weak, feeling angry, feeling frustrated, feeling insecure, disempowered. I think the week ahead and what you've been experiencing lately is just so massive that you're probably not great company right now. And it looks like you could be leaving a family scenario, and it's just caused mayhem, you know, chaos, mayhem. But remember what I said, the Tower comes down, existing circumstances, existing patterns, existing structures are pulled down. current dynamics are interrupted, okay, split up, jiggled around, separated, and what replaces it is better, it is superior, it's stronger, it fits together better, you know, the pieces of the puzzle click together properly instead of trying to mash, you know, bits of the pieces into holes where we want it to go. It just slots together nicely. It's a stable, strong structure. It makes sense. It's superior. So this is the hard bit, guys. Like this is the hard bit. But the dust will settle eventually. I really think that you're going through a lot of moments. So I might pull from multiple, you know, sort of decks where we get some advice for well-being, because this is a lot. This is a lot at the moment. Let's get a no contact message from this person that looks to be a spouse living in a family home. Gaslighting you. I've been lying to you and gaslighting you. You weren't crazy, you were right. I just wasn't strong enough to admit it. Okay, so it's called gaslighting. I think the original story or actual incident that happened, I need to research it, was a woman that was living in a house, and I think the husband, please don't like think this is correct because it might not be, but I think he was turning on the gas and she thought, you know, like she turned everything off and then she'd find it on, and like it's when you make someone feel crazy, you make someone go crazy because you're making them doubt their own judgment. You're making them lose their mind because you're creating doubt, you know, like in their own judgment. Because I could tell you that like this wall is white and I could tell you that it's black. And if I tell you that many times that you said it's black, you're going to be like, did I say it's black? You know, like, so you start second guessing what you said and you start doubting yourself. So it's that kind of like emotional abuse. So someone's been like, you know, making you feel like you're insane, like trying to get you to doubt yourself, doubt your own judgment. And you know, this is what they would say to you if there's no contact, and you kind of said, like, what is it that they would tell me? They're like, yeah, you're right, I made you like doubt yourself. I lied to you when you knew, like, I'm telling you, you know, BS. What do I normally get next? What's the nature of this connection, please? Letting go. If someone leaves you confused more than comforted, you need to reassess their access to you. Okay, so this is definitely an ending that's happening after a lot of gaslighting, a lot of like someone playing mind games with you, but to the point where it's mental abuse. I just want space. I think that just slid off because that doesn't make any sense, does it? Love, Unconditional love, self-love, oneness, passion, affection, attraction. So it could be any of those. There's a sense of a family situation coming to an end, a living dynamic coming to an end, and this huge tower falling. And it causing, a lot of pain on both sides, but like a sort of acceptance at the same time. Why was there so much division? Why did we have the Five of Swords upright? Distance. You and your partner may be physically or emotionally distant. So, I mean, if you're living together, I would take it as, most people, it's emotional distance, isn't it? Like you grew emotionally distant from one another. And there could have been better phases and there could have been really difficult phases. Let's get confessions from the... You're the best I ever had. Okay, so they're kind of viewing it as a time of their life that was very productive, or where things were achieved that they're really proud of, that you were good to them. Perhaps they never had a relationship with anyone else, maybe they were never married before, or never even fell in love before. Some people, marry their first love and make a family with them, and they have no experience of relationships outside of this connection. Maybe this person did have a couple of relationships beforehand. You are the best I ever had. Okay, so they're upset about this. It's not something that they wanted. Let's dig deeper. What went on in this connection? Deadly combo, dangerous when together, triggering, explosive. So it's confirming, that there was a lot of rows, okay? A lot of arguments, not able to see eye to eye, a lot of back and forth, There could have been snide remarks or, flippant comments. It doesn't have to be like dishes being thrown at your head, but you could have really, it could have got into a habit where you set each other off, verbally, and just walking out the room frustrated or whatever. It's just, it says a deadly combo, definitely, not the best match in terms of that. Wishful thinking, having lofty ideals leads to a letdown, be realistic. Okay, so perhaps they just thought, well, it'll get better, or things will improve, or this is how families are, this is how marriages are. But it's kind of not picked back up again. Or it did, but it didn't last. Oops. Fighting for what you love, claiming what's yours, love is a battlefield. Oof. We've got like guns and boxing gloves here. It's just. There could have been a lot of like, anger because of jealousy or lack of trust. Because it says it's not just fighting for what you love, it's claiming what's yours. Love is a battlefield. So this person could have like pushed you away, then they could have been like, no, I want you to stay. You're not getting with anyone else, like, and it's like, it's just so dramatic, like they want to argue because you're theirs to argue with. Does that make sense? Like, it's just too aggressive. Too much aggression. Egg on their face, ashamed, backfired, got caught. Ooh, okay. Something they did could have backfired, like if they got really pissed off with you and just bad-mouthed you or told you you're this and that, put you down to like people that they know, you've heard them complain about you, or they're saying to your face like you're this, you're that, or like, calling you out and saying, well, fuck off then and leave, that's giving you the opportunity to go. So now they're like sitting there with egg on their face, like, shit, what did I just do? It says ashamed. So, like, when someone acts in the moment and they're fully aggressive, they've lost control. And afterwards, there's a sense of shame, and things could have gone too far. And maybe it has got physical, or maybe there's been nasty words used that are demeaning, or the tone, is just not acceptable, the facial expressions. It's become like they don't respect you, or they have disdain for you, or they have all these things that they don't like about you. It's just like, it feels like it's gone too far. Too much has been said, too much has been done. And so it's like, well, I know how you really feel about me now. And a lot of it isn't good. Like, got caught. Like, what have they got caught doing? Have they been checking up on you? Have they been snooping? Or, is it just bad mouthing you or complaining about you or putting you down? Like, they have screwed up, and there's a lot of aggression on this side. And then they sort of like pictured you as like the perfect happy family. But I think, honestly, if I'm honest with myself, I've done that kind of thing as a female. Like, I have kind of really belittled the person that I love, out of genuine frustration. But I've kind of thought that what we have is infallible, and I've been so nice to them that I get to do that. I get to be like that way with them, and you're ruining that person's in actuality, you're ruining the relationship, and you're ruining that person's image of you, and they're starting to see that actually you don't have respect for them, or you don't trust them to do whatever, or you kind of, you're responsible for the demise of a relationship when you do that, when you belittle someone that you love. It's like, you would never do that to a child. You just would not belittle them. You know, you tell them off for like a choice that they've made that's wrong or this or that, but you don't belittle them and put them down. Sometimes we do that to partners and they are a child. Inside, they are that child, aren't they? So why are we doing that? I'm going to be honest and I'm going to say, like, when I was younger, like in my 20s, I definitely did that. Well, I don't think this person ever thought that you would leave. They just never thought that you'd leave. They got so confident that you would just always be there and that you are theirs, that you know that word, like, it's like a sense of possessiveness, like I own you. You belong to me and I get to say these things to you, or I get to like speak to you in this kind of way, or like use this volume with you, talk in this tone with you, like look at you the way that I do, like walk away from you. Like I get to do that because this is our relationship and I get to do that to you. Like I think it's just happened too much or it's felt too demeaning. Like I don't know if you're even like conscious, Aquarius, that this was like as unhealthy as what it was. Maybe that's what you're realizing. Maybe you kind of think at times like perhaps I've like overreacted or I shouldn't have done what I've done or I'm bad to like leave. But maybe it's dawning on you that like things weren't actually that healthy. Like perhaps it was toxic. Because gaslighting is mental abuse, 100%. I'm just having a look to see what I need to get next. It doesn't feel appropriate to ask for like when there's going to be new love. It doesn't feel appropriate because it feels like you're right in the thick of like a fallout. Um, but just in case anyone's like, for God's sake, please tell me that there's something like something ahead to look forward to, like even if it's in the distant future. Like, when's the Aquarius going to find new love? Don't lose hope, okay? This is not your story. This is not the last chapter. This is a chapter. It's not the last chapter for you by a long shot. I'm gonna get you some advice from some different oracle decks because I just feel like this really sucks. I feel like this proper is just a dramatic time for you. Emergence. The frequency of emergence invites us to approach our reality with a childlike attitude of innocence and wonderment and celebrate the beauty that unfolds from that place. Okay, so what would a child do in this situation? Do you think a child would? I mean, children are actually that when they're very young, because childlike, we're talking about under 5, aren't we, or around the age of 5. Children are exploring, children are looking around, exploring the environment. They try to understand and make sense of the world around them by investigating, by trying different things, by repeating certain things. Even it's like dropping food over the side of the high chair, you know, or throwing a ball. They're trying to understand the impact of their actions and what the occurring, you know, equal action is. Like, what is the consequence of what I've done? And like, if I do something again, will the same thing happen? You know, if I do something differently, like, what happens then? And I think that's possibly like the approach that Spirit's asking you to take. It's not really about what I did was wrong. It's about that's how I did things last time. I'm going to try something different and I'm going to see what the result is. Does that make sense? It makes sense to me. Belief. The frequency of belief supports our sense of self-worth based on our gifts and talents and a strong connection to Source. I've never had that come out, you know. There's a lot of these cards, but it tends to be like similar ones over and over. And this one is really beautiful. This is all about knowing your sense of self-worth, okay? I am worthy of love. I am worthy of genuine, authentic happiness. Yeah, strong connection to Source. So think about the divine, think about Spirit, have faith. You know, there's a wider plan. You're growing, you're learning, you're evolving. We don't get angry with children when they're little because they're just on a journey of learning. They're like little aliens that have only been on the planet for so long. So why are you treating yourself like you should have everything under control? Like you should have all of the answers and like you're a fuck up? Because you're not. You're just another one of the aliens trying to work out how all this works. So give yourself a fucking break. Oh, thanks, Cameron. That's really nice. There's starting to be a really nice community on here, and I'm here for it. I like it when people pop in and say, hi, everyone. It's really nice. That's the kind of channel that we're going for. Okay, allowance. The frequency of allowance invites us to be open to whatever comes our way, without judgment, without opinion, without fear, and without resistance. When we allow, the universe becomes our partner in the wondrous dance of existence and of expansion. So if you picture a kindergarten child or nursery, whatever you want to say, depending on what country you're in, you've got the water box, you've got the sandbox, you know, you've got creative where you can get messy with paints, and it's just all about moving around and trying different things and having a go. Don't paint yourself into a corner and chastise yourself for not knowing everything and how everything's done and being perfect at everything. A child would never learn how to form letters if they didn't try and get it wrong lots of times. You're being too hard on yourself. You're telling yourself that I should know everything. I should have done everything the right way. And I've done a lot of wrong things, and too much of that kind of like negative self-talk or that kind of like dramatic, very harsh perspective, you know, and judgment of yourself isn't healthy. It's not helpful and it's not realistic. We're all just feeling our way through. Okay, and that is the reality of life, and you're allowed to not have the answers right now. You're allowed to give yourself time to figure out shit. Okay? Sorry for the language, but I just really feel like I need to aggressively like get that message into your like head because you are an air sign and you get right into your head about stuff and you are very humanitarian and you live for other people and serving other people, and I just think you're so like you think of yourself last like every time. You know, you are an intellectual, but no, you're not born knowing everything, and so therefore you shouldn't be hung, drawn, and quartered. Do you know what I mean? You shouldn't be chastised or like any of these terrible, you know, like punishments that you know, are sort of putting upon yourself. Like, no, you're just a person. You're just a little alien trying to find your way through like everyone else. Okay, so stop that. Balance. Harmony with nature is key. Connect with the elements for balance and wisdom. If you really haven't been outdoors much, and I don't mean football at the football pitch, but I mean like a nature walk, you know, proper immerse yourself in a woodland walk, properly like, I don't know if you're like in a part of the world where it's summer or winter, but here in the UK it's autumn. So that's why I'm thinking about like wellies walks and stuff. If you're somewhere where it's going into summer, you know, enjoy the sea, enjoy the surf, like go mountain climbing, you know, hill walking. Like you need to properly immerse yourself in nature. You know, when you're like it's so really nice to like sit outside of a tent, you know, and or be on the beach, you know, and it's going dark and you've got a campfire and you're looking up at the stars. Even if you can't, you know, be out somewhere because it's very cold, just open your window and hang outside of it and look at the stars, or wrap up and step outside into the garden, just look up at the stars. It will really get you out of your own head because you are a tiny organism in a very grand picture. You know, zoom out. Remember, like, you're just an organism. Stop putting so much pressure on yourself to be this all knowing, all, you know, like getting everything done, spinning all these plates, like, have to be perfect. I have to know how everything should be, and I'm a fuck up if I make any mistakes. Like, no, just stop doing that. Get out of your head and like go into a state of being rather than like, this is who I am, and I am a father, I am a mother, I am, you know, like a colleague, I am a boss, I am this. You're just an organism. Like, you know, in the Milky Way, like of the universe, of this universe, like take the pressure off, yeah? Manifest. Mix your intentions with care, craft your desires into reality. You're at a crossroads in your life. Might have a lot of fallout to deal with, but this is a time for you to go, okay, something's coming down. What do I want to construct in place of it? And you don't have to like know exactly what it is that you want right now, because I feel like that's part of the message here. But when you do, and if you say 11:11, or you just have a thought about a bit of clarity about what you do want, or you know, whether it's a person, place, or thing, whatever your goals are, ask for them out loud. You know, visualize it, ask for it out loud, say, Source, I know what I want, and If it's meant to be, please will you help me to make it so? And in about a year or less, I'm telling you it will come true. Particularly speedily. If you say 11:11, something that could come in like straight away. Because that's the universe throwing you a bone. Manifest every day of the year if you want to, but if you say 11:11, ask for something, whatever the main thing is that you want that day. Whether it's a relationship that's healthy, an employer that's healthy, a relocation, you know, an opportunity or a house or something. Your house to sell, you know, whatever it is that you want, better health. 11:11, ask for it quick. Ask for it. Whisper it under your breath if you're somewhere in public, but say it out loud as much as you can before that clock changes, you know, because you'll get clarity because you'll be under pressure and, you know, you've only got like a few seconds. You don't know where in the 60 seconds you've got before those numbers change. So it's the best way to sort of prioritize your goals. This is the fun bit, okay? You're the toddler, you're the 3-year-old walking up to the piece of paper on the easel and you get to paint it and you're looking at what colours you're going to pick. What is your picture going to look like, okay? This is your time. So that's how we reframe, you know, what feels like drama and chaos and awfulness. And we get ourselves calm, we get out of our head, and then we think, do you know what? This is my opportunity to make a picture that I am happy with. It doesn't mean you've got to throw away all of the old pictures that you've already painted. This is this chapter, okay? This is what I want for this chapter. I can keep all of that. I can treasure it, okay? I don't have to act like it didn't happen. But this is my chapter that I'm painting now. What do I want? Look at the colours and decide, okay? Now, one fell on the floor, and it's a really nice one, so I'm glad that I remembered. It's abundance. The chalice overflows with potential. Drink from it and prosper. Okay, so this is where we're moving into this state of the universe is abundant, and what I ask for will be given to me. I'm worthy of love. The universe is abundant, and what I ask for will be given to me. I am worthy of success. If you want to, you can burn Palo Santo wood and you can say that, you know, say those positive affirmations, get yourself off in nature, look up at the stars at night and know that you are part of this, you know, beautiful universe. You are in good company. And this is your time to have a think about what you want for yourself in this chapter. Right, I'm going to get you a good fortune card. Hang on, let me get you one of these. I feel like we've gone into it enough. I don't think I actually need to get you other oracle decks. I can do. But we could be going a bit excessive, couldn't we? We're up to an hour. I'm happy with what's come out here and what we've said. Celestial balance. You've got balance twice. Find balance in your duality. You are both light and shadow, perfectly whole. Oh my God. I think you should screenshot that. You haven't got to be perfect, okay? If you were always light, you know, that's not possible, is it? It's not possible to be always dark or shadow, whatever you want to say it as. You're both, because you're human, okay? You're a spiritual being having a human experience. Forgive yourself, be patient with yourself, know that it's fine to feel your way through. There's an argument in philosophy that you can't have good without evil, you can't have light without dark. Because one sort of gives context to the other. Like, if everything was good all the time, we wouldn't know what bad feels like. If everything was bad all the time, we wouldn't know what good feels like. You kind of have to suffer some of the bad and take the rough to get the smooth and then really appreciate it. I hope that makes sense. I think I've done pretty well with my metaphors and my explanations tonight. But you'd be like, what is this chick on about? But I know what I'm on about. Right, good fortune. Hi, Aileen. A magical moment will change everything. Be ready. Right, let's get you an angel number. Oh my God. 444. 4. Blessing in disguise. Obstacles, hardships, strength, building character, experience. There might be some difficulties ahead, but you will push through. You've got this. If you've been struggling or feeling lost, the winds of change will blow in your favour. If you've been suffering, some things may fall apart, but you're building the framework for something much better. That is a Tower card, if ever there was one. Hang in there, Aquarius. It's about to get good. Reflect. 666. Love, affection, compassion, kindness, attention, and self-love. Several unexpected developments will enter your life and impact how you feel. This is a chance to reevaluate your identity. You need a mental shift towards greater optimism, self-assurance, and trust. Put your faith in your gut and inner voice. Pay attention to your feelings and use them to help you become a better person. (333) Support, growth, creativity, joy, community, vision, and talents. Seeing the angel number 333 is a sign that it's time to focus inward, work on your skills, discover your talents, and use your imagination. Unleash your inner artist. Oh, that's weird. That's weird because I was saying that. Doing so will boost your self-esteem and sense of competence. It does wonders for your sense of purpose and contributes to your community. If you know that there's something you've always wanted to pursue, some sort of hobby, pastime, passion project, do it. Join a club. Like, you're not just your problems and you're not just your work. You are a person that is allowed to have creative outlets. You're a person that needs to connect with other people through things that you love. And you're allowed to have stuff that's fun. You don't have to be a thing, like a unit that's just productive, or a unit that is like playing a role, you know, in a family scenario or whoever you've been responsible to for years. You're allowed to use that beautiful mind, you know, to explore everything to do with sound and light and textures. Express yourself, explore. It's very important that you allow yourself to be and to do, and not just kind of label yourself as like who you are in relation to others. I don't know if that makes sense, but you're not just a dad or a mum, do you know what I mean? You're not just someone's brother or sister or someone's child. You are you in your own right as well. You were a person before all of this, so You're allowed to have that for yourself. Does that make sense? I am going to get you a well-being card because I feel bad for you. Conscious focus. What I focus on, I attract more of. Starting with today, I will be more conscious of what I choose to spend time speaking or thinking of. I will do more of the things that bring me joy and see as more of these things begin to effortlessly flow into my life. Love it. Love that. I love this deck. Maybe I should just keep it out. Mindful messages. So, so nice. If this is resonating with you, Aquarius, it is going to get better. This is the horrible bit. It's the horrible bit, okay? It does not feel comfortable at all. It's dark days, it's one foot in front of the other. However, you've just had so much advice from your spirit team. You are part of the universe, you're in good company, and you're not the only person to have ever gone through this. So reach out to people, but follow the good advice here as well. This is time to paint the next chapter now. Look at the colours, think about what you want for yourself, and cut yourself some slack, because you weren't put here to already know everything. You're just a little alien.